All righty.
See all this time that I've got left?
Take a breath. Get ready for the edge. I'll see you at 6.
Okay. Wrap, Sue.
You got it.
Wrap.
F for Dan. Coming up after the break, President Clinton heads to Chile to talk trade and politics. We'll have the latest on that mission coming up.
Plus, G7 leaders debate the IMF's role in the Asian financial crisis, and so will we. We have
CNBC Asia Squawk Box. Weekdays at 0200 CET, 0100 UK.
watching Market Wrap. It's 5:30. Welcome back. I'm Sue Herrera.
And I'm Bill Griffith. Another volatile day on Wall Street amid some expiration. Today we had some options and futures go off on Wall Street. Martha?
Hi, Bill. Well, we did see a very impressive rally to the close.
Hardball tonight on CNBC.
Here's Ted David with a look at what's ahead on the next hour of Market Wrap.
LBJ used to do like 80 miles an hour around the ranch.
Yeah, in his Cadillac.
Yeah, yes. Interesting stuff. Coming up at the top of the hour, some interesting stuff. When investors decided to dump out Ascendant yesterday, the NYSE wasn't the only place that saw action. Sharon Epperson will have a look at where else you can buy and sell stock. And do the likes of Steven Spielberg, Sly Stallone, or Demi Moore have to put up with telemarketers? They might have to now. Jerry Cobb with the GTE blunder that's got to have some Hollywood types more than a little miffed. Then on Money Talk, your chance to call in and chat with financial planner Al Gobo. See how you can use your mistakes of this tax year to better plan for next year. Plus your phone calls. See you at the top of the hour, folks.
Thanks. See you later, Ted.
All right, coming up, we're going to get an update on the president. He's heading to Chile.
And the latest on that trip and the debate of the whether or not the IMF should remain around. This is Market Wrap on CNBC.
Europe today.
Lots of other news making headlines today. Let's get caught up with our news editor, Darby Mullaney. Hi, Darby.
Hello, Sue, and hello, everyone. Vice President Gore. 5 minutes past. Back to you, Bill and Sue.
Thank you, Darby. Take a two-shot. Take a two-shot. We'll see you later on the edge, okay?
Yeah, that's right, because you've got Geonomics coming up.
Try and find room for all the boys up here. Coming up after the break, a special edition of Geonomics. Jim Rogers, Larry Kudlow, and Bill Woolman square off on whether the IMF is part of the problem or part of the solution for the Asian economic crisis. We're back after this.
I'll give up my time.
Top finance ministers from around the world, of course, have been meeting in Washington this week, topping their agenda the depressed Japanese economy. They've also been discussing massive loans from the International Monetary Fund to help bail out parts of Asia, Indonesia, South Korea, Thailand. Joining us for a special edition of Geonomics, the boys are back together. We're going to talk about the IMF, the G7 meeting. As one wag was heard to say, one of these guys supports the IMF, one would like to head it, and the third one would like to abolish it. Tells you where they're coming from. Jim Rogers of Rogers Holdings, American Scandia's chief economist Lawrence Kudlow is here somewhere. There he is. And Bill Woolman, the chief economist at Business Week magazine. And you can figure out who's who in all of this.
Well, why don't I start?
Oh, would you like to start?
Just to give a start to this. The IMF and the World Bank were founded in 1940.
I think this is very interesting. In a global world, a world of global economics, that you don't want something working towards sort of an international equivalent of the
empire with the Berlin Wall still be up
It had nothing to do with that. The World Bank had nothing to do.
The IMF agenda around the world of carrying out more democracy, promoting democracy around the world.
Wait a minute,
and
the IMF
keeping some of those countries from going the way of the Soviet Union.
The IMF had absolutely nothing to do with it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know that the IMF is a form in which the advanced industrial countries can make their will and their desires,
Bill,
apparent to the developing world. And nothing that they're telling the developing world to do is wrong.
The IMF did not lend. The IMF was not. Wait, hold on one second.
The personnel is not very good.
The personnel, yeah, there are 10,000 of it. The IMF was not in there lending money to those countries. The IMF was lending money to Western countries. They weren't lending money.
That's my point.
Furthermore,
but those who were teetering going towards the Soviet Empire, they were trying to keep them in the fold.
If you'd let them teeter, we would have gotten rid of the dictators, the absurd dictators.
What brought the Berlin Wall down was the strong military national security policies of Ronald Reagan, communicated across the world through information and communications technologies. Virtually the whole liberal establishment in this country now agrees with that. The IMF has never been a force for good in that respect. Here's the trick. Let these countries, the Asian countries, let them come to the United States and look at our free market capitalism, our relatively low taxes and zero inflation and deregulation. They don't need the IMF. They can come right here and see this. And Japan is a perfect example. What Japan needs now is across the board marginal tax rate relief and supply side economics. Because the IMF wants them to stimulate demand. And demand is not the problem.
The Republicans do
we need investment rates.
Larry, you're being very partisan. The thing that brought the Berlin Wall down was partly the military, but it was also partly the example of Western democracy and the example of cooperation between the Western countries. The Comintern had nothing on the IMF, you know? The fact that one was a good organization, one was a bad organization.
They were both bad organizations.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What brought down the Berlin Wall was they'd all seen Dallas on TV. They knew that in the West we lived differently than they did.
So JR destroyed the Berlin Wall.
More than Ronald Reagan, more than the IMF, I assure you.
To this day, right now,
if they saw
has
Dallas,
not stabilized the Asian currency and monetary problems, and
nor
that
the World
shows
Bank.
how useless that operation really
Nor has the World Bank or the IMF stabilized anything.
Don't refund them. Don't refund them. Let markets work. Let incentive models work. That's the way to go.
We just have trouble getting commercial breaks in, and so strictly business, but we got to go at this point. Jim Rogers, Larry Kudlow, Bill Woolman, as always, good to see you all together on the same spot. That's Market Wrap's first hour. Thanks for joining us. We're not going to Maria? All right, we'll just take a break here. Maria Bartiromo and Ted David are coming up next to continue Market Wrap for this Friday. Have a great weekend if I don't see you later.
Future File, Monday and Thursday at 2000.